When I was a child, I was bullied in school. Now, it was nothing serious or extreme, it was just some threats and teasing, but it was enough for me to feel scared whenever I saw a certain person. Many years later, as an adult, I noticed that thinking about this person still made me feel scared. He still had power over me, and even though I'd not seen or heard from him in more than 20 years, the emotional memory of those experiences actually affected the way that I acted around people. By this time, I was well into my 30s, and when I realised that I was still carrying this fear, I decided that it was time to do something about it. A few days later, I stumbled into a book that explained how people from your past are always energetically connected to you. The book described an energy conduit attached to your solar plexus that kept you connected to the other person and through which energy would flow. It explained how to remove this connection and release not only yourself but also the other person from negative past experiences. The meditation was very easy, so that night as I lay in bed waiting to fall asleep, I relaxed, closed my eyes and went through the simple steps that I'll share with you in just a moment. The next morning I felt amazing, like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. It was like taking off a pair of tight shoes that you've been wearing for so long that you've forgotten that they're crippling you. The meditation had definitely worked, but I wanted to test it. I thought about the guide to see how it'd make me feel, and I felt nothing. It was so refreshing. I couldn't believe that something so simple and easy would have such a profound effect, but so far I'd only seen half of the results, because what happened next was completely unexpected and made me realise just how powerful this meditation is. When I logged onto my computer, I had an email from him. Now, this is a person that was never really my friend. We shared a few classes together when we were 9 or 10 years old, but that's about it. Although I said that he'd bullied me, it was really only very trivial, and in fact, I would imagine that if you asked him if he'd ever bullied anybody at school, he'd say and believe that he hadn't. Yet more than 20 years later, the very morning after I did a meditation specifically to release us both from our energetic connection, he'd searched for me online, found my email, and taken the time to write me a message. A message that simply said, "I'm sorry for the way I treated you at school." When I read it, I cried. It was in that moment that I realised that he'd been carrying a burden for all those years too. A burden of guilt, a weight on his shoulders that he probably didn't even notice was there, just like I hadn't noticed mine until it had gone. Now when I think about him, I no longer feel nothing. I feel peace. I feel love and I feel forgiveness. I was so impressed with the meditation that I decided to do it again, on every single person that had ever wronged me, and on every person that I had ever wronged. I also shared my story with some friends, and they tried it too, and each and every one of them experienced exactly the same as me, a remarkable sense of release, and an incredible coincidence that confirmed that they'd healed the other person too. So, if you're ready, let's do this simple meditation together now and release you from an energy bond that you've been carrying for many, many years. To begin, think of a person that has wronged you in some way, even if it's only trivial. If you can't think of anybody, then maybe you can think of a person that you've wronged. Either way, you'll feel the benefits of letting them go. Now, visualize this person in your mind. It's okay if you can't actually see them. Many people don't see mental images the same way that we see with our eyes. So whatever you experience is fine. Just think about them. Imagine that you are connected to this person at your solar plexus, almost as though there is a conduit of energy flowing between you. You might even be able to sense colours or movement as you imagine this energy. Wherever they are in the world, this flow of energy connects you both. Now that you've become aware of the connection, it's time to remove it. I find the most effective way of doing this is to imagine grabbing hold of that connection with both hands, giving it a sharp twist, and then pulling it right out of your body. It's a little bit like removing a heavy-duty pipe, like a fire hose, from a coupling. Once you've removed the conduit from your body, imagine removing it from theirs too, in just the same way. That's good. Now that it's disconnected at both ends, it begins to dissolve away into nothing. However, you still have a wound, like a hole in your aura where the conduit was attached, and so do they. The final step is to heal those wounds. And you can do this very easily by imagining light or love energy closing up the wound until it's completely healed. It's very important for you to heal both wounds, so do your own first, then heal theirs in exactly the same way. Again, it's not important for you to be able to see anything, just imagine that it's happening in whatever way is most natural for you. Now open your eyes, smile, and bring your awareness back to the room. If you want to, you can do this meditation again for another person, or if you can't think of anybody else, then maybe you have a friend or a family member that might like to do it too. Over the days and weeks ahead, become aware of positive changes in your life now that you have released yourself from the energetic bond with this person. Maybe you'll also have an experience, like my friends and I did, that confirms that you've helped the other person too. I want to take a moment to thank you for listening to this guided meditation and invite you to leave a comment about your experience, and remember to like and share this video. If you enjoy my guided meditations, please consider subscribing to my channel or visiting my website at stephenhall.info. You'll find a link to my website along with other helpful information in the description. Thank you for listening.